Hi, everybody. This is Mayor Peter Brown, and welcome to the Airdrie Update. Today, we have, for his first appearance, our city manager, Mr. Paul Schulz. Paul, welcome. Happy to have you here today. Together, we're going to try and provide some background into some of our council strategic priorities for 2020 and how we're going to further those priorities through 2021. Obviously, 2020 has been an incredible challenge for so many different people. The beginning of 2020 was obviously for our organization, we were focused on COVID relief. Welcome, Paul. What were some of the notable ways that the administration supported our residents and our businesses?
Well, first of all, thank you, Mayor Brown, for having me. I'm very happy to be here. Shortly after COVID hit, and about a year ago, administration started reviewing operations across the organization to ensure we were doing our part to reduce costs, and as you said, look for opportunities to provide COVID relief. Late fees for utilities were canceled. Council waived the April tax fee and allowed residents and businesses to defer tax payments. Our industrial monitoring program was put on hold, and a Spend Local program was launched to support local businesses that had to close, resulting in over $275,000 spent locally. In addition to these initiatives, we had social planning provide mental health and community resource information as part of the mental health campaign in response to COVID-19. The city partnered with Help Seeker to help residents find counseling, addictions, abuse, and domestic violence support. As an organization, the city did our level best to maintain service as close to normal as possible while managing costs extremely well. Parks hired about half the staff normally employed for the Summer Parks program as we kicked off last spring, and then we had to make adjustments throughout the summer as restrictions were eased. Unfortunately, decisions were also made to lay off casual and part-time employees in our recreation and cultural facilities when they were closed, and that actually ended up happening twice. Budget expenses were reduced to largely offset lost revenue and COVID-related expenses. I actually think council and administration worked very well together to manage in a challenging time and to further council's strategic priorities to where we are today.
Yes, one of the priorities that was obviously a major focus for our long-term transportation needs was the October 15th announcement of the 40th Avenue partial interchange. I think everyone knows the Alberta Transportation will be contributing upwards of $21.1 million for this project, as well as purchasing the land. Council's also committed to funding the remaining portion of the interchange. Obviously, this project is critically important for Airdrie and the region, and the interchange will obviously improve commuter safety. It'll eliminate or hopefully lower the amount of congestion that's out there. It's going to remove transportation barriers for residents, for businesses, and of course visitors as we continue to grow. And I know Paul's very familiar with this, and he's excited as we are on council to get this project moving forward.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I believe it was instrumental that we had a shovel-ready package in the wings that really helped us get funding. And again, a very notable example of how council administration worked together to advocate to other levels of government, and I know yourself, very critical in our many trips to Edmonton to plead our case. Things are, I'm happy to report things are moving along with this project, and the contract has been awarded to Ellis Dawn, and we expect shovels to be in the ground this spring.
Yeah, very exciting news. Obviously, another big priority for us is the new library and the new recreation facility. In 2021 and 2023, Council approved the $4.5 million in funds for library project planning, which is obviously very exciting. The final construction budget will obviously change a bit through this planning process, but Council will make sure that the land for the recreation center and the library will be developed with the community's needs in mind, and that I'm assuring everyone that you will have your input in how these buildings will be developed.
Yes, and when we look at communities our size and our current facilities, we know that we need to continue to invest in amenities that are really important to our residents. And sometimes we get asked if people really are using these facilities, but we can see from the data that they are being used and that they are in demand. a new library, and a new recreation center are included in Council's 10-year capital plan. The library planning process, I'm excited, is just starting out, and we are launching into our community needs assessment that I expect will be completed this spring.
I know the library board feels the same way. They're very excited to see the process get started. So in 2020, the focus for the business community was obviously on maintaining your business and obviously recovery through this pandemic. We mentioned the Spend Local campaign and some of the other initiatives, but in 2021, we'll be refocusing on the priority of moving the tax base from a 75% residential to 25% non-residential. Currently, we sit around 85% to 15%. Although this will shift the tax burden slightly from the residential to non-res, the shift will make retail, commercial, office, and industrial space more readily available, and which will also reduce the cost of space overall.
Yes, the business community was shaken through COVID, and I know many businesses are still struggling. So economic development support from the city is still very important for business. I guess on top of that, Airdrie still continues to experience growth. And that has shone through in a Davie Creek Community Area Structure Plan approved by Council last August, and East Point's Area Structure Plan was approved in December. As you've mentioned, our focus will be on non-residential development, whether it's in our industrial areas or in the downtown, and also in our processes. We are looking to improve the development process for quick and consistent review timelines. Always looking for that edge, looking for new ways to infuse money back into the local economy.
Switching gears, I want to talk about some of the other priorities that were put on hold during 2020. Because administration was redeployed, these will obviously be picked up again. One of these priorities is that we hear from diverse groups in Airdrie.
Yeah, definitely. There's work being done to identify how the community wants to give their input, who we are missing in our reach, how the community wants to hear about engagement opportunities, and what the community is most interested in. Keep a lookout for engagement opportunities related to that. We do joke a little bit about doing engagement on engagement, but really that's a key first step.
Absolutely. And okay, so lastly, we need to ensure that housing is accessible to all income segments. Paul, can you give us an update on kind of where we are in that process?
Yes, over the last few years, social planning has been researching affordable housing supply and demand in our community. What was found is that there really isn't a lack of housing supply in the city, but our issue is that available housing isn't affordable by all income segments. Social planning is currently leading the creation of a below-market housing strategy, and I believe you've been interviewed recently in that regard, and I am hoping that the results of that strategy will be presented to Council in late spring.
Okay, thanks for this, Paul. Obviously, despite a tough 2020, we still made some great strides. Although 2021 is still full of uncertainty, I look forward to moving the needle on all of these priorities with our council colleagues and, of course, our administration. Thanks for watching. I want to thank Paul for being here today. I want to remind anyone, if you're struggling, if you have a business, there is help out there. Make sure to check our website, check the provincial website for vaccine information, etc. Always remain healthy and hopeful, and we'll look forward to connecting next time on the Airdrie Update. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.